And I don't have to spend too much time on what's going on in the country and how America has become unsafe. But you all read the press release over the last couple of days about the fact that we are beginning to close stores that are not unprofitable. But we're closing stores as a result of the co-creation sessions that we've had. Almost 60 now, 25 in the SSC and the rest in the field. And we had one yesterday in San Antonio. But in all of those sessions, it has shocked me that one of the primary concerns that our retail partners have is their own personal safety. And then we heard the stories that go along with it about what happens in our bathrooms. The issue of mental illness, the issues of homelessness, and the issues of crime. And Starbucks is a window into America. We have stores in every community, and we are facing things in which the stores were not built for. And so we're listening to our people and closing stores, and this is just the beginning. There are going to be many more. And I must say, in my view, at the local, state, and federal level, these governments across the country and leaders, mayors and governors and city councils, have abdicated their responsibility in fighting crime and addressing mental illness. And we are going to have to refine and transform and modernize many of the things we do to meet the needs of our customers in a very changing operating environment in which customer behavior is changing. Now, I say that, but at the same time, you need to understand something. Despite the challenges of COVID and post-COVID, and the changes in customer behavior in which over 50% of the business is drive-through, over 25% of the business is mobile order and pay, and the third place experience as it was designed seems to be less relevant. The demand for Starbucks coffee by our customers, domestically and around the world, has never been greater.
Starbucks is a window into America. Man, I couldn't agree more. You have an overpriced product, not because it's good, but because it comes with a social message attached, which is sold to hipsters who allegedly hate capitalism. I mean, go into a Starbucks coffee, you're going to find some of the most liberal people you can possibly imagine, and some of the most wealthy, because they need to have the money in order to afford the coffee. The CEO of the company has supported every single liberal policy. He has supported the mayor he is criticizing. He has donated money to the Black Lives Matter, which at the time were chanting to defund the police. Literally every single thing that has led up to this, you can't just put the blame on the politicians without mentioning their donors, which the CEO happens to be one of them. Now, I already made a video about this, and I compared the difference between Starbucks, which in 2018 apologized, and KFC in Berlin, which at the time didn't apologize. And now it's Starbucks closing down the stores. But the reason I made this video is because the CEO has the audacity to blame the politicians, when he wasn't just donating money for them, but he was lecturing people into their ideology. I mean, I don't know how many of you guys remember, but in 2018, Starbucks would get into a discussion about race with their customers. I'm not kidding. Like, this was a failed PR attempt, but you would go to a Starbucks to buy a coffee, and the person that's selling you the coffee would say, hey, what do you think about the situation of race in the United States? Now, again, that disappeared in a couple of weeks. Like, people were mocking it in the media. But the very fact that it was an initiative should make you question the sanity behind the people making this decision. I mean, even imagine, let's say that having a conversation about race in 2018 at a Starbucks was something that everyone wanted. Imagine the queues. Like, imagine the line. Not only is it going to be difficult to enter the store because they're allowing everyone to enter now, But on top of that, you have to wait in line for the guy in front of you to finish having a conversation about racial issues in the US before you can get your coffee. What a brilliant business model. I am astonished. So, what really fascinates me is how do I have this ability of predicting the future? Look, I know I'm a Romanian and the stereotype says that I may have a crystal ball, but no, like, it's just logical. So in 2018, as I said in the previous video, Starbucks implemented an open bathroom policy after a store manager had 2 black men arrested for not ordering coffee while sitting down. This is not what actually happened. You had 2 black men who were sitting down, so they weren't customers, like they weren't doing anything, and then they wanted to use the bathroom. So the manager told them, hey, if you want to use the bathroom, at least buy something. And because they refused, and they started getting agitated with the manager called the cops. That was considered trespassing. And almost everyone that I knew agreed, like even people of various walks of life and different races that I interact with agreed that, yeah, I mean, it's common courtesy that if you're going to use the bathroom, or back in the day, if you were going to use the phone, at least order a 25-cent gum. Like, you don't have to order the most expensive thing. Just order something. That's cheap. It's courtesy. It's common sense. But no, right? So then the cops arrived and they arrested the man for trespassing. And that was a huge thing in the media. And of course, you know, the CEO decided to side with the non-customers and open their bathrooms to everyone. And I said, it's like your business is selling a product to upper middle class white liberal twats. I mean, people that pretend they care about social justice, but they don't want to see it. Like they do say, oh yes, we care about the homeless, of course. Oh, we care about, but they don't want to see it. They want it in their face. Do you understand it? Like they don't want to. So when the Starbucks got filled with various needles, syringes, first of all, the employees left because like no one wants to clean a bathroom that's filled with syringes that had God knows what in them. And secondly, the customers left. And then, of course, you know, the BLM stuff happened and they supported the policies. And my point is, they have done this at every step of the way. And they promoted the ideology that led to this. Just so you understand the ideology in America, okay? Like, I showed this to my wife. Like, she literally didn't believe it. Like, she thought that it's a poll. She thought, like, no, this is not something that is possible in another nation. So there's an event which happened recently in the US. You may read about it in the papers. But apparently, a mother was held hostage in her own home. And the guy holding her hostage opened fire at her in front of the kids. The police stopped this from happening by shooting the perpetrator. So the mother is safe. Guess what happens? You now have a group of protesters outside protesting against the police shooting the guy. And the mother is going out. And she is telling the protesters, which, by the way, overwhelmingly white people. And she was saying, it's like, hey, like my life was in danger. This guy had me under a gun in front of my children. Like, what are you doing? Why are you protesting for it? And they're like, well, at least you're alive. And it's like, okay, but with that type of mentality, you're demoralizing the police. They can't do their job. Like the next time something similar happens, they are going to hesitate. And again, like, it emboldens the criminal because the mind of the criminal needs to be, if I commit crime, I'm going to get caught. But that's not what's going to happen if you keep pushing this ideology that, no, like, the criminal is a victim of society. Well, if you push the idea that the criminal is a victim of society, then society eventually becomes the victim. And this is what the CEO of Starbucks discovers. You can't do business. You can't do business like this. But, you know, it's not rocket science. Like, if you're tough on crime, you get less crime. If you're easy on crime, you get more crime. The problem is the law-abiding citizens of different colors and walks of life. All of them get to suffer if there is high crime. Like, high crime doesn't just target based on it. No, like, it affects everyone in that area. Less jobs, less employment, more poverty, more desperate people. Out of those desperate people, a percentage of them are going to be more willing to commit crime. Like, it's a self-fulfilling circle. So, I just wanted to make this video because In 2018, I predicted all of this, like literally up to the T. And I even had people on Twitter arguing with me, calling me a bigot and that I don't understand America. And it's like, no, you don't understand what's happening. Like, no. Yeah. Look, we're going to defund the police and we're going to fund an army of trained psychologists and social servants that are going to reason the criminals into not committing crime. Where are they? Where are the trained psychologists, huh? Where are? Interesting. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.